All right, keep in mind that these are the people who are trying to censor you online. These are people who are saying, "Yikes, my guy, bad take," and they're leading the dog pile brigades. These are the worst people on earth, mainly because they're cringe and they just roll around and cringe, and there's zero self. I feel like every reference is Metallica, Guns N' Roses, or maybe a Fiona Apple. The Metallica had that song, "The Empty Can," rattles the most. Anyway, click the link for Odyssey, Bit Chute, join the Telegram. If you really want to see some free speech, join the Telegram or the Support Me on Coffee or the various other links. Oh, you have a coffee? We'll try to shut it down. I'm like, okay, it's not the end of the world either way. You said words I disagree with. We must dox you and destroy you and shut down all financial services and your banks and get you evicted and deported and slaughtered. Because words on the Twitter, that's enough. I didn't like Star Wars, and for that you want to put a 173 grain in the back of my skull like some prime deer. There's a lot of good eating on me. I'm well marbled. So Russell Brand, Lauren Chen, she had another name, Millennial or Millennium something, and Sydney Watson. They say if you're getting flak, you're over target. You use anti-aircraft batteries on high value targets. So it is. If you're getting ignored, you're probably not. They don't protect fields. They don't protect abandoned warehouses. They're protecting high value targets. So when the media is coming after you, it's like those people are the ones. There's kind of a bell curve of, or there's a spectrum of the people the media come after who are not like there's a group that the media will not go after. There's the media, and then there's like the extreme media, which is like the ADL, SPLC, ACLU, which is like extreme pro censorship, anti. They're super hardcore globalists. So they will occasionally mention real targets. Like a lot of those people were kicked off YouTube a couple of years ago. But the mainstream media will go after targets that are really milquetoast. But they'll ignore like these super hardcore targets because the other point is like they don't want to give them flack, and they know they don't want to give them attention, and they know that like the other ADL, SPLC, ACLU, there's not a lot of people who are reading those websites to see who their latest target is. It's kind of more in-house between some of those far out groups on the globalists or on the other side. Anyway, so. Who are these moderate pundits that are there? These are a threat to our democracy. They're like everything's a threat. What democracy do you live in? And if democracy is so easily threatened, maybe it needs a little bit of fine tuning. So this is our article, and there's a couple others that are coming out. It's fascinating to see the level of kvetching that's going on. She says a lot without saying anything. Like it's very amorphous, hard to nail down exactly what she has issue with. But they're sure to try to post an unflattering picture. There's another article written about Russell Brand, and they, when you screen cap people, you have to be careful not to pick an unflattering picture. So the other article they wrote, it's like it's got him looking just as ridiculous as possible. It's like, why would you do that? That's so petty on the face of it. I mean, this is looking. It's kind of in the middle. It's like you could have picked a more neutral picture, like one of the thumbnails that he himself chooses, not a screen cap from the video. I mean, this isn't that bad, but it's like little petty things that add up. And then you go through our article, and the article is freaking ridiculous. All right, so she goes through his history. He had a bunch of different podcasts, like everyone does, and then she gets into things that she really has issue with. And I kind of ignored guys like Russell Brand or even Joe Rogan, because if they're on the mainstream in any capacity, they're not saying anything that's really important. Everyone who's actually saying important things are all on Odyssey and Telegram. So who are these moderate milquetoast kind of pundits that are a threat to our democracy? Legitimately moderate people, but these people are terrified of free speech. Like, even the concept gets them. If you're having other conversations on Twitter about free speech, they will be sure to jump in there to try to control it. And it's, like if you've been in the game a little while, they telegraph movements from a mile away. Do you support all manner of political speech? No. Well, there's a like that's kind of the starting binary is yes or no, or yes, but we'll dox you, we'll destroy you, we'll get you fired, or even murder you, which is what really happens when you start speaking truth to power. Is they find somebody who's really skilled at hunting deer, and then they convert you into hunting free speech, I guess. Do you support the concept of the open marketplace of ideas? Most people on the left will flat out say no, and it didn't always used to be like that. But I mean, it's been a long time where the majority of people would firmly say yes, period, no matter what. You might have to go back 40 years before they would say that. Or they'll say yes, but no hate speech against my protected interest or tribe, which means no. You're saying you don't support free speech. But if you're on the left and you do support free speech, then you're public enemy number one. It's like they do the same thing to POCs who have escaped the left-wing plantation. That enrages them because the left feels that they fully control you. They do. I mean, they almost do. It's like 95% control. They control your vote. They control the energy behind movements. Is that they know that most of those people are firmly under their thumb. It's every once in a while one will escape. And anyway, because according to that, a binary, if you support free speech, then right-wing German of the 1930s. Hate speech is speech that I disagree with. It results in the group with the power to give them the ability to censor the speech of those who they want to censor. Why would anyone support censorship? Because, as they will often show you themselves, these are the worst people on earth. If you want to control speech, then you want to control thoughts. Then you control everything, ultimately. We just want to protect the marginalized and oppressed, the disenfranchised, whatever. Yeah, those are the people that you're censoring. Censorship is the oppression. No. It's cool when we do it. No, it's really not cool when anyone does it. The left cannot stand dissent. The right of center got kicked off YouTube and are on Odyssey, Telegram, and Gab, which are awesome platforms. So what is left is these very lukewarm Steven Crowder, Mark Dice, Paul Joseph Watson, and the rest. And that's not, I mean, they're still doing important things. They're pointing you in directions. And they're not so important as the comment section will really point you in more important directions. But I mean, they're doing some stuff, but they're pointing out the hypocrisy of the left. And honestly, their time on social media is probably limited as is. But in relative terms, well, they're the far right who are pushing, alt conspiracy theories, like free speech. That's an extreme. Free speech is an extreme conspiracy theory. Is people who want to speak freely. Yeah, that's a value of the right wing, the far right wing. Because to be fair, there's a lot of moderate neocon MAGA normies who are not so on board with free speech either. And the liberal exchange of ideas and polite discourse between two adults, like most people have been like, how did civilization get formed? Well, I mean, other than the war, how do ideas rise to the surface? Well, through discussion and rebuttal and sharpening your argument on someone's cross-examination. But now we have this participation trophy generation who are secretly children in adult bodies. And they got real triggered on Twitter when someone mentioned the participation trophy generation, which kind of is like we've had that for a while. Like if you're 40 and under, you're very solidly in that get a participation trophy. Everyone's a winner. There's no rules here. It's like gross. Reasonable adults who try to engage in adult discourse. And you've got these adult bodies with child brains. They come up and they just start screeching like deranged children in need of a nap who are mad at their parents. It's like, so we're in a university and we're having a discussion, and these 20-year-old students came up and just start screaming like insane people. Well, don't they understand the university is, you need to be exposed to new ideas, take it in, rebut it, and if you disagree, then speak your mind. But You're not there to shut down their speech, because that means that you're the master and everyone else is effectively a slave. Congratulations. You represent the left wing well. You are the modern brown shirts who silence dissent by violence and censorship. Yeah, that's the left wing. It's been the left wing for a long time. So the media wants to censor Brand, but when Brand says media censorship is an issue, well, Brand is a crazy conspiracy theorist. But the media literally wants to censor Brand and Rogan. But Brand and Rogan are the problem because they call out the media that actually wants to censor them. She says something at the end of this, like she's triggered, this cat lady is triggered that he sounds smart on the internet or something. He's got 1 million followers. And it's like, honey, I gotta hate it when people on Twitter do that. They use that patronizing, honey, sugar, that kind of stuff. It's tempting. YouTube is free. Odyssey, Bit Chute is free. You can get on there. You can make your own videos on there. If you have something to say, start up a platform. And I mean, ultimately, you put the ball in their court. They look at you like, I can't do that. I don't have anything interesting to say. Well, then kindly shut the fuck up and let us listen to someone who does have something. Oh, but you're not smart enough to discern what is reality. So why would I want a cat lady who doesn't contribute anything into the argument other than to be a negative Nancy? Why would I want your opinion on anything? And so the media wants you to trust the media, but not people like Brand or Rogan. They're the wrong media. So the media has a narrative that they're trying to push. And if you examine the media's actual conspiratorial behavior to censor you, then you must be censored for calling attention to the media actually censoring you. The media isn't challenging what Brand is saying. They're threatened by Brand saying anything against this narrative. How he's saying it, and that he's getting more views than the mainstream dinosaur media. And yeah, this is on an archive. Never give them traffic. So Brand's titles are something like "What They Don't Want You to Know," but then the media comes out and says that that's the issue, not the content of the video, which they don't even try to rebut. Seems odd. Censorship is downstream from articles. Brand makes a video, he claims X. The mainstream media is not bothered to counter-argue his claim. They say he must be censored because he's asking questions. What do you think her article is doing? What do you think she's trying to do? Politics is downstream from culture. She's trying to get YouTube to censor Brand, even if she can't counter his argument. She doesn't even bother. She tries to censor him for daring to ask questions. The media is saying to censor someone with a different opinion, but she doesn't come out and say what she disagrees with. She mentions something like pseudo-skepticism, not frat boy culture. It's like all these, almost everything they say is a straw man. The just asking questions, the reply guys. It's like, so you're talking about Twitter, that kind of thing, or comment sections. Well, people have comments open for a reason. Twitter's a public platform. If you don't want replies and you turn off replies, I don't want replies that disagree with me, then just come out and say that. You can limit replies to people who follow you, I think, or just turn them off in total. It's like, are you that fragile that dissenting viewpoints threaten you? Like, get on. The thing about Odyssey, Bit Chute, and Telegram is you're going to get a lot of dissenting opinions, sometimes using very hurtful, spiteful language. Anyway, so he talks about something like pseudo-skepticism. She's threatened by this unnamed they. It's like, you're so close. You're so close. Maybe in a few months you'll get there. And two, the idea that Brand is talking about things the media or government is trying to cover up. Well, the media and government do lie. There's how many occasions, how many objective manifestations of this reality of them materially misrepresenting the truth with malice? How many examples do you need of them? There's negligence, recklessness, and intentional conduct. The media lies across all of those. How many examples do you? Oh, well, they're not any. They're honest now. I'm honest. So the only way we know is by having all facts on the table. This whole open marketplace of ideas, they all need the disinfecting sunlight. Those are all phrases from Supreme Court decisions about what ideas rise to the surface. We don't need anything hidden away. He's talking about the idea she's triggered about that brand is talking about things media government is trying to cover up, which they obviously do. There's a whole litany of things you can go through, like CNN. Literally on camera, CNN goes out with their high dollar cameras, but then somebody and they'll set up a scenario, a fake. They'll recreate a scene, but they don't tell you that they're recreating it. So someone with a Samsung will film it and go, yeah, here's CNN line about a scene, and they recreate the scene. It's like, wait a minute, are you presenting a set scene, a recreated scene as an organic scene? And they don't tell you? It's like, yeah, they do that all the time, where they selectively edit. Remember the woman said, we need our weave. Don't burn this stuff down. Clip. The next sentence is, go out to the suburbs and burn their stuff down. Gee, CNN, that's a little bit of selective editing in there. Yeah, people don't trust the media for a reason, because they fucking lie. Why would you be threatened by an alternative viewpoint unless you're desperate to control this narrative that is... quote, Star Wars, Guns N' Roses, Fiona Apple, and Metallica, slipping through your fingers. Rest in peace. Princess Leia, Disney princess, I think. So she's triggered by Brand talking about censorship while she's trying to censor him. It's just as crazy as it sounds. Anyway, click whatever and go to the other Odyssey, Bit Chute, Coffee, Subscribe Star, and I'll see you guys all next episode.